Pansy is driving, or more accurately weaving her car between the hordes of zombies littering the stretch of road that runs past the giant furniture store. A rueful smile breaks the mask of concentration on her face. Oh, how easy it had been to steal from them back in the day. By comparison, the zombie population was now providing them a far more effective security team. She swerves again to avoid damaging her vehicle by having yet another zombie hit the windscreen, and sees a patch of clear road ahead. She accelerates, heading off.
Got a feeling that I might die tonight. Woke up in the morning, raving for a brand new day.
Pansy is considering a road trip. She's getting ready, collecting her bits and bobs, and organising herself to go out of town. So yesterday we thought that we might not be likely to pick up a tape measure by regular everyday looting in town, downtown locations, just not the right sort of place for that type of Hydrocraft loot. And looking at things offline a little bit, I have to conclude that we need to go and find a warehouse. So I found this car which works and will whiz us through the countryside, weaving and bobbing to avoid collisions with crash sites and zombie population, and take us up here to this warehouse. If it classes as a warehouse, this has to be the easiest warehouse looting mission on the map, but I'm just working on the principle that it's worth having a look, because the loot tables, but sadly, though it does have Hydrocraft stuff, but then again, so did the office space and in town, but I'm not sure. I've no hope that the warehouses themselves will have anything, because these are just produce and are full of sacks of rotting stuff. But what we'll do, because we found a shovel in the tool shed, once we've killed this guy, we will dig up some gravel, put them in some bags and put them in the car, because you never know. It's Hydrocraft and it needs lots of stuff. In here we'll grab the wheelbarrow, which is this large yellow item which I'm now wielding around in the poor light. It's hard to make out. And we will grab various things. We will grab a trunk full of various items, sadly none of which is the tape measure that we so desire for our crafting. But we will have to be content with such things as grind heads and thick rope and smithing tongs, which will be very useful in due course, no doubt, and we will try to keep a mental note of anything else that might be here and grab some spares. That's the other thing, is that for the most part things like tongs and shovels don't get used up, except by maybe if you use them to bash zombie heads. Yeah, right, we're going to make our way back. That was spending the night with the car parked up against the side of the big building, and we're just retracing our steps now, as per yesterday, through this mess, getting home, and to quickly dispatch the ones that followed us up the road. But again, only a minimal population came along following the car. That's good. Well, we'll see. I mean, it might be when I go back outside the street is full of them milling around. But for right now, Pansy, don't worry too much about zombies. Get on with reading your literature, learning some bits and bobs, and it's raining, so maybe we should take it easy for a little while and do something more domestic. Sort out your belongings, put them in the right sort of place, and then we'll figure out what the next step is. I'm toying with the idea of adding the tape measure mod, which will obviously speed things up, but again, I'm kind of concerned about ending up with a hollow achievement by having had easy mode applied by 1,000 steps, as it were. But the balancing argument is the time that it takes to loot all these significant locations, given the relative lack of strength of the character. She's not kitted out like a warrior, and building her up to a warrior is a very long, slow process. And then on top of that, if we have to take an even longer, slow process in acquiring all the bits we need. So I'm not thinking that adding the tape measure mod is going to break the immersion to the point where it's worthless. So we may well do that. But for now, putting some of the things in their places, we need to put a lot more effort into building crates and racking, or whatever we're going to do up here in your storeroom though, Pansy. Yep, put your spare books in the spare book crate, and visit your other various piles here. And then perhaps we can think about getting them dirty rags. They're just littering the place up. If we can apply ourselves to getting them clean, now we've got the rain barrel. If the raining that was come down right now has filled my barrel up, then we can perhaps grab that water, build a fire, clean the water. You can't clean rags in tainted water, unfortunately. But it should be a simple enough matter to untaint some of that water with the use of a fire and some saucepans. But right now what I'm going to do is investigate zombie corpses. So what do we do with a corpse? We can unappealingly peel it, yeah, which is icky and grim, but that gives us raw skin and an uncooked zombie. Now what do I do with raw skin? Have to figure that one out. But at least we're doing something hydrocrafty, to say the least. This is not part of the vanilla game. We can remove its head, can we? Well, that's handy. I'm not seeing any harvest the bones options. That's probably because I don't have a dissection table or something. I can butchering to generate food from a corpse requires cooking. Right? Okay. Well, cooking's on its way. Meat could be back on the menu before long. Fancy. Again, somewhat grim. Not sure what that would happen psychologically to poor Pansy's mental state if she starts snacking, chowing down on zombies. Right, what we're going to do is see if we can do something with this raw skin. There's another state we can process it into, dried, but we need just a bit of rope and some sturdy sticks. We have the sticks, and we can turn a thick rope into enough regular rope to allow us to build a drying frame. Where are my sticks? There we go, grab them. and create the drying frame. And onto the drying frame, I suspect we have to stretch the skin. Drying frame, raw skin. I can dry the skin. Oh right, so I can do that when I'm holding it. I don't have to put it down and add the skin to it, no? Ah, now I've got dried skin. Okay, well let's drop that frame there. It can adorn our broken window. Okay. But what do I do with dried skin? I'm perhaps missing a textbook of some kind which will allow me to figure out what to do with the skin that's dry. I might have to do a bit of research on that. It could simply be the end of the chain, though it might not do anything, I suppose. It's just logical that when you've done skinning that you can dry whatever that it resulted in, and that the game doesn't, or the mod doesn't provide us with a further recipe or procedure to use it for anything. I don't know. We'll find out. But anyway, yay, Hydrocraft. We did a bit. Let's see. Let's get tidied up again. Let's get back to our ongoing projects of self-improvement. Hey, Pansy. Where are we at now? 3 o'clock in the morning? It's late. You're tired. You're hungry. You're not very happy. Might be skinning these corpses isn't good for your mental well-being. I don't know. You're agitated due to your addiction, eh? Oh well. We can have a smoke to sort that out. We can read our fairy tale books and play with our calculator, whatever we want, to improve matters of our happiness or boredom or whatever. There we go. Smoking relieves the agitation. We can sleep it off. Yeah, okay. Get rid of the tiredness and let the next day bring what it may. The next afternoon probably at this rate. Okay, so the afternoon in fact has gone by, and we're going to just jump forward a little bit with Pansy and march right on up the high street. We haven't done this for a while, and I'm just interested to know what kind of population is up here, because we haven't actively done very much to clear it out. So I was kind of expecting to see a few more and have to scuttle off with my tail between my legs, but 4 of them in view. Let's see. I suppose that there would have been a bigger population, but they've been drawn down to the crossroads as we've encountered them there. Okay, there's 3 more in the car park. I think we can afford to take these 2 out, but we're losing light and it's getting a little bit later, so let's whack these ones, and then I think we'll do our scuttle off home routine and spend the rest of the evening in gentle, peaceful activities as contrasted with hitting people with a machete. No, I think we ought to be off, Pansy. I'm not too keen to fight those when the light is fading, because we don't know who else is round the back that could be attracted, and that might go ill for us. So hop on up into the relative safety of your bedroom, I guess, reading room, apartment, and get on with some high speed, frenetic patching and unpatching, that number is going up. Experience is accumulating. So with this stockpile, which we're rapidly going through, and if we clean up those dirty rags that we have in abundance next door, we should make really good progress on this tailoring. And I guess that it all helps, and there's plenty of good things that tailoring does once we have the tailoring workbench. But of course that brings us back to Hydrocraft and the loops of things we need to get in order to be able to do it. So yeah, I'm thinking that adding the mod which makes tape measures generally more available is a good thing, because we want to see some stuff, don't we, Pansy? And honestly, why should a tape measure be gold dust? I guess it's a widget game. Get this widget to do that, to build one of those, so that you can go and make something else to go and get something else. And chains of activity, little milestones and waypoints. That's how we command satisfaction out the game, delivering these things. Like seeing the skill levels increase there, yeah, popping up with every patch and working your fingers to the bone with a needle and thread. However, once you've used all your threads and all your patches up, there's nothing for it. You have to get some more. So I think we might just as well make use of the dirty ones that we have collected. So, saucepans of water become untainted, and then we can use them to clean our rags, which is how we do some more. Okay, the clean water from the fire, the clean rags, our heart's desire. Okay, what have we got? That's it, Pansy. Back in and have a bite to eat. You're worn out. Sleep cycle is all over the place. But never mind, if we go to sleep at 9 o'clock, catch up with ourselves, heal our hurts and woes, sleeping blissfully. How long is it going to last? Going to get through to the morning? Oh, that's a good long sleep, Pansy. So, with no further delay, accelerating through the day at a very high speed of knots, doing burpees, of course, more burpees. Oh, the green bar had dropped down a little bit, so put that back in place. And though the exertion is exhausting, it'll pay off in the end. And a stronger Pansy will be a Pansy that can carry more loot, and with more loot we will get more powerful, and when we're more powerful we'll be able to kill zombies and get more loot. Now, I'm glad the rain has come down, because we can use the rain wash mod. Pansy has become somewhat encrusted over the weeks in blood, and even at 10 times acceleration it is taking a good deal to wash it all off. But there you go. For once, underneath the caked grime emerges the person, And now we're nice and clean. Get your long johns back on to keep you warm. They could do with a wash. However, it's all progress. That was a very fast day, Pansy. Well, the day was quite long in terms of hours, but in terms of speeding up, it was very, very quick. And that extra tailoring rank of skill is within spitting distance. We're very close. We need likewise activity on the rest and carpentry. But some of our carpentry projects will require the carpentry workbench, which brings us back, as ever, brings us right back to the tape measure, which is the sticking point. I think we've got everything else for our carpentry bench but that, so that's probably why it becomes a thing on which I'm so focused. Well, let's see how many more rags we got. A lot of stuff we can work with. Good. Well, get your accelerate on. Add with ripped sheets. Make threads. Just finish off this last little lot, and then I guess we need consolidated firm action. That's always a good plan. That's it, Pansy. You crack on. It's very impressive to see that number of skill ranks in anything. It might be nicer, of course, to have seen it in long blunt or strength, but I don't mind what it comes in. We will make progress on all fronts in good time, Pansy, but right now we'll take what we can get. And actually, when you apply the leather patches at this level of skill, you're going to get even minor bulletproof protection, which is nice to see. Have a homemade bulletproof long johns. That would be a thing. As you add your patches and strips. Oh no, we're about out of thread. No, there's not much there, is there? No. Okay, we've maybe done what we can with the stocks that we had stored away. Anyway, plenty more where they came from. A seemingly endless supply, in fact. And that's the other thing as well. I've noticed that thread making, as a byproduct of ripping up clothes rather than deliberately turning clothes into threads, becomes much more effective with a higher level of skill. In fact, it produces oodles of thread now that she's got this higher level of tailoring, and that of course in itself is a bit of a boost. And I think as well, as you remove the old patches, being of a higher level, means that you conserve patches at a greater rate, which means you can carry on working longer with the same amount of raw material, which is, if you think about it, that's kind of an experience boost all of its own right. So you get to accelerate at a greater rate as a result of being better at the task in hand, which I don't know if that's how things generally work. I personally find things get harder to learn the deeper that you go into a subject. But hey ho, we off to work we go. That's it. get your equipment. We need, well, if nothing else, we need more rags, but we know what we really need. It's more interesting tools for Hydrocraft. The tape measure being the first on the list. And you must go and get one of those as soon as you possibly may. That's it. Put your knife in your belt. Put on your woolly hat and gloves against the cold, rainy day outside, and take a stroll. But first, have a look in the food supply. Have some spaghetti. Feed the inner seamstress or carpenter or machete wielding zombie slayer. You need the sustenance at least. And in the storeroom we need more crates, so at some point we should bring up planks and do that and set these heaps and piles of stuff straight. I think we'll have a long line of 3 high crates on that back wall and go from there. Deposit the trash. I don't think you can throw it in from round the corner. You'll have to approach it. Yeah, it's just an invisible wall. Yeah, okay. Alright. You're set up with your equipment. But going out, we're going to wait to go out because, first of all, we're going to apply that mod. I'm definitely thinking it's the way forward. Our policy decision. So we need to search for the tape measure mod, which measuring tape mod, not tape measure mod, and this means that the tape measure that can be used in crafting recipes will spawn in places where tape measures are generally found. IRL. Okay, we'll subscribe, and on the next occasion, you never know, we might indeed go find our tape measure.
Got a feeling that I might die tonight. Woke up in the morning, raving for a brand new